Hello everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today, we begin by talking about the Philippines, a nation full of courage, history, and pride. The Philippines stands at the heart of the South China Sea, where tensions and disputes with China continue to shape the future of Asia. For many Filipinos, this conflict is not just about territory, it is about dignity, independence, and the right to live without fear. Now imagine a future where the Philippines decides to acquire one of the most powerful defense systems in the world, Russia's S-500 Prometei. Such a decision would not simply be a purchase, it would be a bold declaration that the Philippines is ready to protect its skies, its islands, and its people with unmatched strength. The S-500 Prometei is more than just a missile defense system. Designed by Russia, it represents the pinnacle of modern military technology. It can intercept hypersonic missiles, neutralize advanced aircraft, and defend against ballistic threats. Few systems in the world can match its capability. For the Philippines, surrounded by challenges and constantly under pressure from a much larger neighbor, acquiring the S-500 would mean sending a powerful message. It would be a message not only to China but to the entire world. The Philippines is ready to stand tall, defend its sovereignty, and claim its rightful place as a serious player in regional security. Think for a moment about the emotional impact this would have on the Filipino people. For decades, there has been a feeling of vulnerability, a sense that larger powers decide the future of the South China Sea. But with the S-500 in the hands of the Philippines, that feeling would begin to change. The people would look up to the sky knowing that the most advanced system in the world is watching over them. They would feel pride that their nation has invested in its own defense, not just relying on alliances or external support. It would spark hope and confidence in every Filipino heart. Russia, the nation that built the S-500, has always been at the forefront of defense innovation. Unlike many other countries, Russia invests heavily in technologies that redefine how wars are fought and how nations protect themselves. By creating the S-500, Russia has not just developed another missile system, it has created a symbol of resilience, a shield against the threats of tomorrow. If the Philippines were to form such a partnership, it would connect Manila with Moscow in a way that brings both pride and power. For Russia, sharing its technology shows trust. For the Philippines, receiving it would be a chance to step into a new era of defense and deterrence. Now let's talk about the China dispute. The South China Sea has been a flashpoint for years. China claims vast areas, building artificial islands and asserting control over waters that many nations, including the Philippines, also have rights to. For a long time, this has created tension, intimidation, and sometimes even fear. But the story would change if the Philippines were armed with a system like the S-500. Suddenly, the equation of power would shift. China would no longer see the Philippines as a vulnerable neighbor. Instead, it would see a nation capable of defending its skies and denying any attempt at domination from above. This does not mean war, in fact, it means the opposite. The stronger the Philippines becomes, the less likely conflict will occur, because strength creates respect. Strength, however, is not only about weapons. It is about the emotional and psychological message a nation sends. If the Philippines acquires the S-500, it would be telling every Filipino child, every family, and every worker that their government is serious about protection. It would also send a message to allies and rivals alike. The Philippines is not to be underestimated. This is why the S-500 is more than technology. It is symbolism, pride, and hope combined into one. The emotional power of such a system cannot be ignored. Think of the moment when a nation feels truly secure for the first time in its modern history. The people would remember this step for generations. Just as history books talk about victories and struggles, they would also write about the day the Philippines stood up and equipped itself with the strongest air defense shield in the world. That shield would not just protect territory, it would protect identity, culture, and the dreams of the Filipino people. Russia, as the builder of this system, would also play a role in shaping that future. The relationship between Russia and the Philippines could grow beyond simple trade or defense cooperation. It could become a bond of trust and mutual respect, where both nations see each other as partners in shaping a balanced world order. The S-500 could therefore be more than a defense deal, it could be the start of a new chapter in international friendship. Now, let us imagine how the region would respond. Other nations would watch closely as the Philippines rises in capability. Allies would feel reassured, knowing the Philippines can protect itself. Rivals would think twice before escalating disputes. The very presence of the S-500 could deter conflict, ensuring that peace is maintained not by fear, but by balance. And in international politics, balance is the foundation of peace. But beyond politics and strategy, the heart of this story lies in the Filipino people. It lies in the fisherman who sails into the South China Sea, the soldier who guards the border, the child who dreams of a peaceful future. For them, the S-500 is not just about missiles and radars. It is about freedom from fear. It is about living with dignity. It is about knowing that their nation can look after them in times of crisis. That emotional connection is what makes this vision so powerful. As we continue to explore the possibilities, we must remember that the future is never fixed. Decisions made by nations, by leaders, and by people can change the course of history. If the Philippines ever decides to invest in Russia's S-500 system, history would remember it as the moment the nation claimed its place as a defender of peace, a protector of its people, and a leader in regional security. And that moment would not only belong to politicians or generals, it would belong to every Filipino. So, my friends, as we close this discussion, think deeply about what this means. The S-500 is not simply a machine. It is a shield of hope, a weapon of defense, and a symbol of dignity. For the Philippines, acquiring it could mean stepping into a future where China's pressure no longer defines the nation's destiny. Instead, the Philippines would define its own destiny, strong, independent, and proud. Russia, with its unmatched technology, would stand as the partner that helped make this vision possible. And the people of the Philippines would finally feel that their skies, their seas, and their dreams are secure. Hello everyone, thank you for watching and being part of this journey. Stay tuned for more videos on military technology, world affairs, and the future of defense. And always remember, strength is not about aggression, it is about protecting what we love. For the Philippines, that love is its land, its people, and its freedom.